Now compared to the moon swatches last year, the 50 Fathoms Scuba actually comes on a pretty decent strap. The quality is there and the colors are coordinated with the watch that you get. But here are some strap options for your 50 Fathoms Scuba. Now in hand today, I have a plethora of straps to strap on the Antarctic, the Arctic, and also the Atlantic. But first off, let's figure out how to change the straps on these watches. So what you have to know about these watches is the spring bars are actually screwed in together. It almost appears like it's a fixed spring bar, but it really isn't. You just have to unscrew it. If you don't want to deal with any of that, you can easily swap out the NATO strap for a different kind of NATO strap. But if you do want to swap out for a two-piece strap, there are some things you have to keep in mind. You're going to need a little bit of tools. I bought these hex drivers from Amazon for a few bucks, and you actually need two. They're 0.9mm hex drivers, and the reason why you need two is because you need one to hold the bar in place, and you need the other to actually do the unscrewing. And once you do get it unscrewed, you can pass through that spring bar through the loop of the strap. You just basically screw back together, and there you go. So it does sound easy, but it was kind of cumbersome to get that spring bar back into the watch and screwed back to the case. I had to do this multiple times because I have a lot of straps to show you, but I'm willing to go through that annoyance for you guys, just to show you the varieties of straps that these can take. Now starting off, we're gonna go with the Antarctic. Now if you watch my previous strap guide videos, my go-to strap is always going to be a NATO strap, just because it's super easy to pop on and off a watch. And the best one you can go for is, of course, a black NATO strap. A black NATO strap will go with practically any watch in your collection, let alone the Antarctic here. The second most versatile NATO strap is going to be the gray NATO strap. The gray NATO is actually the most suitable, I would say, for the Antarctic, just because you're going against the gray bluish hues of the Antarctic watch. And what's better than a black and gray NATO if you already have a black and gray NATO? The black and gray Bond NATO, of course. I would have to say the Bond NATO is my second most worn colorway of a NATO strap, and it works perfectly here, as you can see. And the last NATO I chose to go for the Antarctic is a navy blue NATO. Like I said before, it's easy to pair strap colors just by looking at the dial. With the Antarctic, there's some gray, blue, and purplish hues going on in the watch, so the navy blue NATO is kind of a no-brainer to pop it on to watch. And lastly, for the Antarctic, we have this sailcloth strap from Artem Straps. This one comes in a navy blue strap with white contrast stitching, and I have to say I really enjoy this look. This is my first time handling sailcloth strap, and this one in particular is by Artem Straps, who is the official sponsor of today's video. And not only is this particular strap by Artem, but all the straps you see in this video is going to be by Artem Straps as well. Now the material is made out of a synthetic upper and a leather underside, with a layer of natural rubber, which makes it suitable for swimming underwater. There's also a silicone strip where the strap holes are, just to mitigate any of the wear that you might incur over time wearing the strap. And this particular sailcloth is a loopless design, so it does have a buckle, which is really nice because it keeps the strap looking really tidy. Now moving on to the Arctic. Now with the Arctic, you have these sandy tones along with the obvious orange bezel and orange play on the dial. So naturally I added a pop of orange here on this black NATO with an orange stripe running across it. It's a simple look. If black is too boring for you, that pop of orange is just what this strap needs to tie in with the watch, I would say. And like I said before, this NATO is from Artem Straps, and let me just say that most NATO straps that I own just come from a generic company, which served me quite well over the years. But these NATO straps from Artem are probably the most premium filling NATO straps I've ever came across. They're silky to the touch, almost seatbelt-like, but not as tough to maneuver, but they are kind of thick, but once you have it on the wrist, it almost feels like it's not even there. It's that comfortable. The next NATO strap I paired up to this is also a Bond strap, but the No Time to Die version. Again, this was the most logical strap to strap onto this due to its similar tones and that sandy material on the case. And although a traditional Bond strap would work, I think this one adds just a little bit more character to the design. And lastly, I have it paired up with this army green sailcloth strap, which I think looks really cool. I mean, sure, there's no green tones on this particular watch, but it is in the same earthy tone color palette, I would say. What do you all think about this color combo? And lastly, we have now, when Swatch released these 50 Fathoms Scubas, I knew the Atlantic was going to be an absolute strap monster. Again, paired up with the black NATO, there's this thing in the world of style. For instance, if you have a navy suit, you don't particularly wear it with black shoes. And the same thing if you were to wear a black suit, you wouldn't wear anything besides black shoes, just because the mismatch looks kind of off. However, for the case of this particular combination, the black NATO, I would say, works super well with this watch. It kind of brings it into a more sporty aesthetic, so if you decide to take these out for a little swim, the black NATO is probably the best way to go. And for those summer days or a day where you just want to have a little fun with the strap, I think this Commander strap by Artem Straps is pretty lovely. It has this faded blue, red, and gray stripes running throughout, which I think is a ton of fun with this particular watch. And these watches are just pure fun. Don't take them too seriously. They're plastic dive inspired watches. Now, running into sailcloth territory, the navy blue sailcloth from Artem Straps is also a lovely option with this. It's the option that makes the most sense. You're gonna match the strap color to the dial color. And to me, this is the best pairing for the Atlantic. However, if you're not really into the whole matchy-matchy look of a blue on blue, you can always go for the black sailcloth option with gray contrast stitching, adding a bit more character to the strap. So to recap, it's pretty easy to pair straps to your watches. You just look at the dial and the case and just kind of play around with the colors that are already there seen on the case and the dial. Bring that to the strap and you got yourself a color combo. But kind of like the case for the Arctic with the army green sailcloth strap, contrasting colors like that can add a little bit of interest as well. So what was your favorite strap combo from this video? And if you already paired your 50 Fathoms Scuba to a different strap, what strap did you choose? Let me know in the comments below. And that about wraps it up for this one. The link to Artem Straps will be in the description below, and you'll probably see it in the pinned comments as well. So give them some Clicky Bezel love and check out what they have to offer. Until then, I'm Chris, this channel is Clicky Bezel, and I'll see you all on the next one.